And so it's working, hopefully. Welcome back to Lazarium, session 9, I think. Jesus, we've kept going. As always, I'm Omega Party. I play Casper Zerkoff. We've got Feed Moon playing Stephen Oakenwood. Tolnok, who plays a different character. Well, no, he plays the same character every time, but a different name. As Damien Krieger at the moment. And also, we have Beta Annihilator as our Dungeon Master. Prince Wanderer, playing Randall Wilder. Would you like to recap for us, just so people who missed last time know what's going on?
I would love to. I'm sure everyone has obviously watched the last episode, especially the people who are currently in the stream, so they know exactly what's been going on. If not, I'll happily let you all in. It was a sad time. We had to mourn all those that were lost. The battlefield was heavy with all of our fallen brothers, and most importantly, a fallen cousin. One of the gypsy brethren had fallen behind. He fought strong, he fought well. There were some beautiful, kind words shared from our team members. We were led around a large pyre to share our respects for all of those that were fallen, and we had to mourn very deeply, everyone in their own ways, some vocally, some silently, but winning that battle came at a great cost. But upwards and onwards, as D&D is always about moving on and bettering yourself, and I'm sure what we have next in store is going to be hopefully a bit more cheery than last time.
I don't think it is. We're dealing with a cult trying to bring back a dead evil god. So
Possibly not then.
We're probably going downhill. Think of this low point as more of a mountain, and it's more further down.
This is actually a peak.
This is a peak.
This is as good as it gets.
I've not even started to peak.
Yeah. Just
Okay.
wait, guys.
Beta Annihilator, how the hell are you?
I am very well, thank you. Knackered, but good. So yeah, we're gonna continue on our story, and we'll start off with obviously our missing hero from last session, who, whilst you guys were packing your things the morning after the funeral, you guys dealt with it in your own way, either drinking or simply turning in and falling asleep due to the exhaustion of the battle. You are awoken as most of the camp is like packing away and moving. And Sir Steve, you essentially get a messenger through who calls for you to come to the presence of Knight General Eobard. Now, obviously, you've barely been present. You actually helped with the scouting party that was seeing how far off the Yorks and the other wildlanders were going, and the direction they were going. So you were kind of returned at the end of the funeral, and so you barely had time to catch up with the group.
Okay. And it was just after the funeral or the tail end when?
Yeah, the tail end. So the pyres had been lit, and words have been said. The elves had their own little funeral procession done in their own way, which Damien was part of. So he went mainly over there, mainly because he couldn't really move between the two because his body is pretty screwed up right now. Yeah, so you would have come back, you would have known that, found out that Andre perished in the battle, and a funeral obviously held for him. Yeah, so you've been caught up on the basics, even if it wasn't from one of these three guys, it was from one of your many NPC followers.
Rachel just in the background catching me up.
Yeah. Okay, so you're given the summons. The others are kind of like just waking up, rising around you.
Okay. I suppose I'll just you'll just announce to whichever ones are listening at the time. I've been summoned to meet with Knight General Eobard. I didn't say if any of you are to be there as well, but come if you wish. Though, Casper, I recommend you fix your hair to a mess.
Casper just looks up at you. He is clearly exhausted from fighting in the front lines. Still has bits of blood on him that he has missed after washing in the river or the local nearby stream. You know what? I will fucking come with you. And I just get up and walk alongside, and there's a clear difference in one of us in nice clothes, one of us in battle worn gear.
Okay. The other two of you, do you tag along or do you stay in your own?
I'm like starfish, just sprawled out.
Lying on a rock.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm dying. I'm like, yeah, I feel like shit. I don't want to do anything.
You have got a point.
And I think
I healed
Randall's
a whole
priorities,
1 hit point during longer.
and that's where Randall's priorities would probably be. Tending to his comrades who need it. I'll definitely be by Damien's side, slapping on poultices left, right, and centre for him.
Yeah, Damien's probably the worst of the lot, but Bors is looking a bit worse for wear as well, having been, squarely on the front lines and taken a fair bit of punishment. So yeah, you and Rachel have got your Medicaid duties filled up.
I would
Awesome.
use one of my
Bloody
strong
good guy.
poultices on Damien.
All right.
Oh yes, I'm on double digits, guys.
You feel the strength coming back into your legs.
Well, these aren't just herbs. I'm actually praying when applying. It's not just a matter of slapping them on, it's seeking guidance when doing so and making sure that they are imbued.
Where have you been
Gross.
hiding this healing ability?
It's gotten better a lot recently. It used to be
Came
bad.
out not that long ago and is just it's been hiding it.
The worst thing is I've played the exact same class as him, and I knew he had. I played it when we were playing the Dwarf campaign.
He just let me stay on single digits for most of the campaign.
It is definitely a downtime action, though. It's not
Oh.
like you can just run up and slap it on.
Sure.
You had a lot of downtime in this campaign.
Like, we escaped Clearview, and it took 4 days to get from Clearview to Potter's place, and yet we were also injured the entire way there.
Yeah, I arrived at Potter's still on single digits.
Well, I'll just take that 22 healing back then, shall I? If you're ungrateful about it, that's fine. I'll take my poultices to the next guy who's nearly on death's door.
Lessons learned. Mac doesn't read his character sheets.
Well, I normally play simple barbarians. It's hack and slash.
All right. So, Sir Steve and Sir Casper.
Thank you.
Just to give him his title. You arrive at the tent of Knight General Eobard. The guards at the tent flap kind of like just poke their head in just to make sure that he's ready for you, and then they put it back and allow you to enter. Night General Abard, pretty much like almost like carbon copy of like when you first met him. Him and his remaining knight commanders are around it's like a rudimentary map on the table, and they appear to be plotting. And with a first like glance, if you're perceptive enough, you would notice that they appear to be looking at Grot Hook, which is where they assume the orcs and the wildlanders were going, and they are plotting how they're going to essentially not lay siege. Grot Hook's not really a town to lay siege to, but attack the town and free it from the wildlanders.
I look to the gallant Sir Steve to lead us into battle once again.
I like that Ollie's looking up, but in reality, I'm pretty sure Casper would just be going with mad, wild eyes, as always. So Steve will present himself like a General Airbard. You requested my presence.
He held up a finger, just as he's going through the map. Like, you've got their little pieces that represent their soldiers. They like moves one along. The other guys like nod. They agree. Goes, Sir Steve and Sir Casper.
No, General.
Didn't expect you to join him, but you're most welcome.
He came to our camp. I believe the knight was a little bit worried about what he was to find here. I'd laugh.
Well, I'm glad you were both here, and you both formed admirably in that fight. Obviously, Sir Steve, your role in the cavalry, rout them with the back, and send them packing. And Casper, without yourself, our right flank would have been doomed. So, I'm sure the battle would have gone the other way had you not turned the tide on the right flank. You have my greatest gratitude. Now, I assume that you cannot join me for routing the orcs out of Gothook.
Seeing Sir Steve think about this.
You could definitely see cogs in his brain are going.
We cannot, unfortunately, Knight General. We have previous commitments. We must stop the cult from progressing any further in the mountainside.
He nods. Yes, this cult. Now, I wish I could commit more men to this. I mean, by the looks of things, you have a solid band of soldiers and warriors with you. Those elves and those... and he looks quizzically at you. Mercenaries that you have tagged along?
They are, they're more sworn members, I believe.
Well, they seem like, swords for hire sort of types, but they're sworn legions, then I suppose they are no longer. You see there's like a gold thread in his hands, and he walks up to you, Sir Steve, and as I mentioned before, Sir Steve, should you lead these, perform admirably in the fight and fight well and lead well, and should we win the fight, as I said, I would raise you. And he ties it on your right pauldron, as it dangles there as the sign of a knight captain. And you're now a knight captain, and rather than being sworn to Hardshire, you are now a Wardenshire. I hope this appeases.
He's such a prick. He doesn't even look happy about it.
But that's just more me doing that.
No, Casper is staring at you like you ungrateful git.
He does look quite happy with this.
Was he?
Yes. I'm not sure what to say, but
Thank you would probably suffice.
yes. Thank you, Knight General Earbard. To be honest, I didn't expect to live through the fight. A lot more of the men were kept in reserve than I expected them.
Oh, their commander was smarter than we gave him credit for. I expected all of them to really charge, but he kept his men in reserve, and he now has a solid force to guard Grodhook. But, as I said, you're now Knight Captain, which allows me to send men, albeit a few. You're recently raised. I can't give you command of that many men, but I can send a dozen with you, maybe. A mixture of knights and squires.
He thinks about that for a moment and thinks about how dangerous the place we're going is. The squires may just be more trouble than they're worth where we're going. I'm grateful for the men, but I don't want to risk young men's lives on such a dangerous trek.
Well, I'm sure some of these squires would relish the opportunity to prove themselves. It is the Emerald Order way. A squire must prove themselves to be raised to the rank of knight. You yourself had to do it, I suppose.
I did, but I didn't have to trek through the mountains going after a cult that uses dark magic. It's maybe a bit outside the... You know what? Never mind. Every man has to prove himself one way or another. This will be theirs. No point trying to coddle them.
And he also looks to you as... And you should think about raising your squire soon as well. He's proved himself well. Being in the thick of it, he might have been... waving the banner, but he waved the banner and kept it flowing and flying and held it aloft through the whole battle, so... Not now, obviously, but soon. Consider it, Sir Steve. A man cannot be a squire for too long.
That is true. I was going to give him a horse now, that he's proven himself. His knighthood shall be soon after, I suppose.
Oh, a good first step. And he claps you on the shoulder. Knight Captain.
That's going to get some getting used to.
You'll grow into it. And he takes a side step over to you, Caspar. I hope to award your whole band with these, but I shall pin this on you, and you may deliver the rest to your group. And one of the knight commanders brings forth like a big old this fancy little wooden case, opens it up, and you see that there are how many in your group now? 10?
Call it 8 and...
there's enough for the whole group.
No, call it 8, and we'll use it as like a mental torture test sort of thing against the others that don't get it.
Yeah. For everyone in your group, there is a medal in that little box. There's even one for Andre. So there's like one extra than your living members. And he gets one out. It's essentially like it's a medal and it's got like a wolf head on it. Obviously, it's a Medal of Honor from Wolvenshire. So takes that and he kind of like looks at your blood-stained arm, and your blow. Where would you like me to pin this?
I've got my my sash on, so.
Oh, you got your sash on. Guys, I'll pin it here, and he pins it on. This is a Medal of Valor from Wolvenshire, given to those who present themselves well and give honor in battle and save lives, which you did, and those you led did as well.
Well,
If I could give one to every soldier in the army, I would, but you led those men on the flank.
You want to
Please give these with you as well.
You want me and my men greatly, my general. May I ask 2 favors from you in addition to this?
He kind of like go on.
We've explained what our mission here is and where we're going and what we're up against.
You have.
To combat this, I have formed a new order, the Keepers of the Solist. Sorry. We currently have the backing of the Elven Lord in the west. Would I be able to count on your backing as well, should we ever be questioned?
What would my backing entail?
A legitimacy of the order. We are still young, and most of the country are not aware of our presence.
He kind of like smiles. Legitimacy is easy. I mean, one can claim legitimacy very easily. Mercenary bands pop up all the time, and only word of mouth and history books prove their worth. I'll make a proclamation. You and your order fought well here and defended the honor of the entirety of Green March. You'll be honored in my report, and therefore the history books.
Thank you, Knight General. And my second favor, if you would allow me, the men I fought side by side with, would you allow me to recruit a few from them directly into our party?
You may recruit any of the levies that may follow you, but I can spare the men I'm sending with Sir Steve as part of his promotion, but I would rather you didn't take in any more men from me. I probably have another bloody battle with the Wildlanders, and I will need every man I can get. Most of the levies will be going home. They can only usually pledge to one battle and one march. They need to till the fields and farm the lands. Some will stay, some will go, but the men-at-arms I will need.
I understand that, General. Once we are done in the cave system, I may send out scouts up to Grothook, and if you're still tied up in siege there, then we could head out to assist you, perhaps?
Would be greatly appreciated.
Understood.
Now, I have a battle to plan, and you have a journey to plan. So, Sir Steve, Captain Steve.
Knight General.
I wish you luck. And with all my heart, I hope your mission is a success.
As do we. Give him a bow as I leave.
He gives a little tilt of the head.
I'll do the same. I don't want to take up more of his time.
As we get outside, I'll catch Sir Steve, or Knight Captain Steve. First off, congratulations, Knight Captain. Second off, you wave this in my face, and I'll remind your men what happened to the first set of men you commanded into battle. And I put a hand out to shake his hand as more of a congratulation.
He'll shake your hand. But as he does so, I don't believe I really took command of that situation back then, but I've definitely learned from it.
See, that you have.
Every man that survives his mistake must learn from it or die from it the second time. Luckily, this time I learned.
It's good to hear. You should really think about making that squire up to a knight, though. The guy's got a full beard.
I mean, it's a very patchy and scraggly beard, but...
I was gonna say he's 16, isn't he?
Yeah.
In due time. He'll get us horsed for now, and then perhaps if we all survive this mountain and whatever darkness lies within it, he will be knighted.
I start walking back to camp. Don't forget, Sir Steve. I could always knight him if you take too long.
That's not how this works, Casper.
Yes, it is. Read it in the book.
I actually studied that book.
I cannot hear you.
I mean, so Steve, he would be able to raise him to a knight in terms of title, but in terms of rank in the Emerald Order, he would still be a squire.
Yeah.
So, it'd be a Sir Tommy, the Squire of the Emerald Order.
Oh. And who's the leader of a legitimate knightly order? Uh-oh! Sir Casper! Come, Sir Stephen of the Keepers of the Solstice. Let us return to our campmates.
He's just gonna look around and see if anyone needs him, if he could be used anywhere else at all.
Just leave.
Anybody need someone strong? You know, anyone around struggling with anything? No?
Anyone willing to hang him? Just end
anyone willing to take an angry cascading off my hand?
Anyone got a bow who could just shoot him from a distance? Willing to earn a few silver.
Hey, you two quick. Hey, Randall, you can't put your hand up anymore. You've turned a new leaf.
Oh yeah.
If it was Latarin's will, then it would be done.
Oh no, he's gonna be a fucking zealot that's actually crusading. Oh.
He can't cast it, but every time he fires his arrows, just guiding bolt, guiding bolt, guiding bolt.
Hey, if you get in Latarin's way, I have to do what needs to be done.
Too right,
Who
mate.
determines what's in Latarin's way?
Well, we'll decide that at the time, shall we? We'll read the room.
What you mean is, you will decide.
It was Latarin, I swear.
He told me to do it.
On the way back to
voices.
camp, I'll seek out some of the levies that we fought with that were half decent, like the ones Boars. See if any of them guys want to come for a jolly boys outing up a mountain.
How do you pitch it to them?
It's a hiking holiday.
You survived one battle. Anyone else want to fucking die? No, I just I'll go preaching like you thought that was the real evil in the world. That was just a shit show. We're gonna go save the world elsewhere.
I'm just gonna follow him along and try and pitch it better than he does after hearing that.
No, I will go down the. It's God wills it.
God wills
Ruana,
it.
we are Ruana's justice in this world.
I'll also promise there's
Right.
coin in it for them if they
Yeah,
come
we'll
along.
go. Coin, glory, everlasting life after death.
Favor of the gods.
Yeah,
Oh, hello now. Just
ladies love it.
You must die with a weapon.
They can have a, they can have a free medal.
Yeah, I mean the medal's got to be giving us some. Fight.
Hey, the medal is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fight. I'm gonna get some propaganda posters made. Fight alongside Casper Zerkov, hero of
Casper wants
Wolfenshire.
you.
Get a few sponsorship deals. I drink Bud Light.
I'm trying to think because obviously I don't want to make you roll a charisma check because your charisma's terrible.
Yeah.
Tell you what, roll me a because you are pitching it on a religious basis. So roll me a religion check.
Can I be very aggressive with my religion? No, it's
Tell
not.
them that if they don't do it, they're going to hell.
Are you wanting to roll an? Are you trying to intimidate people into following you?
No, I'm not trying to. I don't even know what that is. Oh yeah, that's a nice one. No, 6.
I mean,
Can I come in with a bit
Sadly,
more of a zealot
You were back at camp, mate.
boost?
yeah. Hey, stay in your lane.
yeah.
Stay in your hospital bed.
Sadly, like, it's not like your words aren't getting through to them, and some of them look like, oh, you know, I wish I could, but I just survived one battle. Like, these guys are commoners, basically. They're a bit like, as much as, like, you know, glory and honor sound absolutely amazing, I've got to go home.
They're lucky that I
I've
took a
got
few.
a wife and kids back home.
They're
I've
lucky.
got fields to farm.
They're lucky that I took a few blows to the head, and my memory's not what it used to be because I'm forgetting what they look like.
Can I try and win over some of these people by promising like the promise of like you know, you do have to go home, I grant you that, but would it not be better to go home with more coin in your pocket for your family, after all?
I could show.
Oh.
Just to help emphasize this, I can show them more silver than they've ever seen in their whole life in a matter of seconds.
They kind of like, at first they kind of like shrug and just like, I mean, great and all, but I'm getting paid from the army, and if I don't go home, crops won't get harvested. It's like, yeah, my old man, he's too far gone. He can't do the fishing in the swamp anymore.
What does fish matter when you have? It even shines.
Can I put a hand on his shoulder, on Casper's shoulder? I'll just please stop.
Yeah.
Showing
Couple
your
of them
coin
go
off.
How much coin you promising?
Enough to cover what you'd be making in, well, more than make up for you losing your crops. That didn't make sense, but this is not my native language.
Where are we going?
Only to the
You know,
mountainside.
like, if I'm gone too long, my wife and kids might starve.
What is it? Like 3 days to the mountainside?
It's actually a good point. We're pretty close to where we're going.
It's about 3 days.
That's I did my research.
But we do have to find it in the mountain, and that's probably going to take a week.
Yeah, but more people we have, the more we can have like spread out finding
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
Yeah, about 3 days journey to the west to the mountains.
What happens if we die?
We'll send back enough to cover your fields to your family. Leave your name with our chief biologist, Rachel.
What's a biologist?
She's a very smart lady.
Smart lady.
Right.
They're dangerous, they are.
Not ours. Well, ours is, but she's on our side.
I'll allow one of you can roll a persuasion check.
God, so Steve.
Flop.
This is what I was made for, I swear. Yes!
This is why we keep him around.
Yes!
Welcome aboard.
It's that silver tooth that I brought you. When you smile.
Now, obviously, you have got deep pockets for this silver. Though, thinking how much you're gonna end up paying these men, especially if they die and you're having to cover the cost of their fields and harvests.
Hang on, how big are these people? They're peasants.
Yeah, but if they're harvesting crops and they need to feed their families, what are they What are you gonna feed them for a day?
Well, it's only 1 copper piece, so...
So what 10 silver a peasant?
Well, what are they doing? Doing 3 crops a year, so... We're going to do 4 months. We'll cover 1 crop. 4 times 30, 120 copper. God. Bankrupt.
Okay.
You
Actually,
forget,
that's a good point.
Casper, intelligent man.
Right, these families will just lose their farms and.
We only agreed one field. They said they knew that.
I feel like you need a real
I mean-
long contract with terms and conditions, and at the bottom of it, it says if they die, Casper gets their field.
Well, it's
Assets.
also more than...
Yeah, and I'm going to use that. The exact number you rolled. And, yeah, you get 26. Essentially peasants now following you.
But do we get those 2 that Casper spoke to in that one tavern?
One of those died.
Yeah, they did.
Oh.
He was. The other one was seen mourning at the funeral pyre.
Has he come too?
No. Would you have knowing that his brother, someone he shares a field with, would you try and recruit him?
I mean, we were just kind of preaching to like
To
the
the
general
masses.
area of ours, weren't we?
Okay. Tell you what, yeah, he'd be there.
Good man.
He's got a bit of a dead look behind the eyes at the moment. Like a look of a man who's got not much to lose.
Man with a grudge.
Ooh.
We're gonna get...
Go on.
I was gonna say, we're gonna get close to the mountain, and then we're gonna be missing one person, and his tracks lead toward Grofok, and we're gonna be like, yeah. Well, we know who's gone.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a bit pointless following you guys. You might as well just stay with the army.
That's true.
Excellent. Well, let's return to camp. Get these guys snapped into shape. And we best get moving because we're running late.
Yeah, you have lost a couple of days in this battle and trying to find Knight General Eobard in the first place, like going to Wolf's Watch and then up. Yeah. So you've lost a few days.
Do we have enough horses, weaponry? I'm guessing the levies, all their weaponry was probably owned by the army, or do they get to keep it? Or
They didn't really have many like weapon. They've got like spear. They've got like at most like spears essentially.
They can loot from the dead orcs and wild.
Yeah, they could probably cobble together some like leather armor. Not much, because finding stuff that fits you is going to be bloody difficult, especially with the wildlanders who are notoriously bigger and stronger than the average Green Marchian. Then, they don't have horses. The levies do not have horses.
No.
And you only had 6 spare horses, 7 now that Andre's dead. So you've just recruited 26 peasants. You only got 7 spare horses.
I mean, like, we can have them go on the caravan and stuff, can't we?
Yeah, although the cart that you've got isn't your own. It's part of the army's. Because remember, you got rid of your cart so you could travel fast.
Oh, fuck. Let's just nick this one.
Do the knights have their own horses? The ones that First Steve have, I'm guessing.
Yeah, the knights and squires will have horses.
I mean, sorry, I'm not being funny, but if he doesn't have all the levies, he doesn't need such a big logistical section.
Feel free to,
Well, I'll just find his quartermaster and. Actually, no, sorry. My friend here can go to the quartermaster and requisition some wagons. If he wants to actually help the team.
Now,
Are you sure he might lose some?
Casper, you do realize where we're going, correct?
Yes.
Do you know how useless wagons are going to be off the road and going up a mountain?
We're not going to be up the mountain the whole time. Most of the travel is across flat ground.
Do you know how long it takes to climb one of those peaks? And he's got a point at the mountains we can see in the distance.
But we have to get to the mountains first. We can have the wagons up at the base.
It is a 3-day march. The horses aren't going to speed us up all that much.
The wagons are for moving supplies.
No.
We have food to move.
That's
We
a
have
good
medical
point.
supplies to move. We have water to move.
Wait. We don't have enough food for all these men.
We can requisition it. The army won't need all their supplies if half the levies are going home. Well, not half the levies, all the levies. If you use your rank that you have just been bestowed, you can use it for power now and help us take down this cult.
This conversation continues as they reach Randall and Damien.
I don't think that's a good idea. I don't like waving around power like that. It's not what it's there for.
Well, don't be convincing without waving it around then.
I will go and ask, can we get some food, or at least purchase it from the water? We can at least get some of it and try and find streams along the way as well.
Okay. Thank you, Knight Captain Stefan.
I'm feeling more like a quartermaster at this point.
We all have to be useful. Somehow.
Randall and Damien, you've overheard the tail end of this conversation.
Yeah, I'm probably just like, so, Randall, so how long have you been able to do this? Like,
Ooh, since I was a young boy, even the A wild
Mhm.
animal that roamed the meadows. I always liked enjoying tending for them, making sure they were healthy. Why do you ask?
No reason. Not at all. So, just curious. Yeah. Thank you though. It's really helpful. It's always nice to know that we have someone that can heal us in the party.
Well, you deserve it after taking down such a formidable foe. It was truly impressive watching you take him down.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Remind me not to ever do that again.
Well, you'll need your strength because we'll be doing it again soon. And as I turn around to Casper and go, just in time. I know the last couple of days have been testing and trying for us all. But sadly, we must move with haste. We have no time to waste. We need to get up to those mountains as soon as possible.
We do. We have some additional men here to aid us. So Stephen has been promoted within the Emerald Order. He is now Knight Captain Stefan. And we should all congratulate him for that.
Congratulations! As he's like walking back away, muttering to himself after his little dispute.
So
Fancy.
he hasn't left yet. He hasn't left yet.
Okay, then Randall will give you a congratulations handshake.
Can everyone come over? And I'll like gesture for our main body to come over. And
Get the Jimmies to help me stand. Like, okay.
I give one of the medals to Sir Stephen so he can. This is for your squire. I believe it's more appropriate if you do that one.
Thank you, Casper. It's quite thoughtful.
Calm down. And I go up to everyone else, pinning the medal on each of them. And this is in recognition from the Knight General himself. He saw what you all did out in the battlefield. He knows how tantamount you were to, well, not tantamount, paramount to the victory that was down on the field. I know it's cost us our friend, but without him and all of you, we would all be dead. And I give the final extra one to Randall, and this is for him. I don't know if you want to send that back to your family. We can have it engraved with his initials, and perhaps even put like a note of the place he earned it and his actions.
Randall nods, yes. We'll make sure the family knows of his honor.
I nod. I look at Sir Steve, who's for his one. Actually, I don't know if you got one. Did he get one?
No, he got his rank.
Yeah, you don't get one. You give that to your squire.
I got my silver thing for my polder. Or golden thing.
Golden.
Oh,
Golden. Oh. Got upset it again. I need to write that down on my sheet, so I will forget.
yeah, don't write down silver.
Silver.
Green. Lavender.
Hearing aid
Turquoise
brown.
ribbon. I meant to say, Randall, I offer my deepest condolences for Andre. Out of all your cousins, he was probably the one I got on the best with. I'm quite sorry for his loss.
Randall nods. I appreciate your kind words.
Oh, and he looks over at the elf. Damien.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning the difference now. I've heard how you took down that massive orc almost single-handedly. Well, I have to say, I'm quite impressed. I always thought you of well, the sleuth, but it appears you're more useful on the front lines than, well, I think any of us thought.
Yeah, it's not really a place I like to be honest. I can work there. I don't want to work there. Just gestures to his legs, like, this is what happened.
It's like a fucking McDonald worker. It's just like, I do work there, I don't want to work there. Right. Understandable. Is his leg broken, or
He's just like very much like he's lost a lot of blood. He needs to recover. He had like a bad gash on his leg, so that's all like heavily bandaged up.
Would
He's just gonna be a bit weak.
riding in a wagon help him, Ben?
He could ride a horse. Obviously, laying down in a wagon would probably be even better for his recovery.
Wow, it has so many uses.
hey,
I'll leave that up to you guys.
If one of us held a rank of significance within an order that's in control of all the supplies.
I, Sir Squire Randall, will go request these. If so needed. Wagon.
right. Before we, well, split up and do things, perhaps we should discuss everything we've just done with the other two, Casper. And the plans for leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Casper went on a little, somewhat religious tirade to the men. He says, looking at you, trying to convince them to join us to fight the cult. They didn't take to that as, well, you would, Randall. But the promise of coin convinced a number of them to join us. What was the final count? 25?
26.
26.
There's also a retinue of knights, a small band, a dozen or so, 6 knights, assumedly 6 squires, coming with us as well, under my command. But the question is now is whether we can get enough food and carts for our new entourage, because I believe this may be outside your abilities to hunt for now, Randall. Any suggestions? I know what you suggested. I was talking to the other two.
Yep. Randall's going to turn to Sir Steve and go, whatever they're for joining us, if it be to fight on Latarin or Ruana's side, or whether it be for gold and glory, as long as they're standing by us at the end, I appreciate their help. We do indeed need more resources, and perhaps the Knight General could spare a little bit for our journey. We do not need to ponder and waste more time searching around for resources that we cannot simply gather for. Time is of the essence, and we need to be moving quickly. I suggest we see what we can be lent or given, perhaps bought if we have to. But we must leave as soon as possible. The cult is on their way to the mountain. We need to be there first.
What he said, but just without that religious shit.
You know what? Right. I will go and talk to the quartermaster here and see if they can spare food, but they're planning an assault on Grotlook. I doubt they can spare any food, especially if they have to lay siege to the city. They'll need all the food they can get. I suppose they can try and harvest anything they can of surrounding land. Alright, I'll go see what I can do at least.
While
and what-
Sir
how-
Steve
How many wagons do you think we need?
What do we
is as
got?
many as they're willing to lend.
Well, no, let's not be stupid. Hold up. We have 26 levies. What do we got in terms of additional troops? How many knights are coming with you now, Sir Stephen Squires?
About a dozen.
Okay, plus 12.
We have ourselves additional 6 now, 7 horses.
Hang on. Let me get this right. 1, 2,
Oh.
3, 4,
And then we have the
5,
elves.
6.
We have the
7,
elves.
Well-
8.
The elves are at least well equipped themselves and brought food for their journey. So,
13.
How
and
many elves do we have?
We had 50, not including the elves currently.
I'm not sure about how many of them survived the battle.
Oh, sorry. Plus
I think it
Brother
was
Sven.
like 8 of them were out, or like, yeah, it was like
Yeah, so they're down to about 42.
Are the elves self-sufficient?
I mean,
Assumedly,
to a
they're
certain
They
to a
may need a
certain
wagon.
extent.
Okay.
they've lived hundreds of years. Surely they can just hunt by listening to the ground and
Let's not...
hearing a rabbit 2 miles away.
How many elves are left? And I'll just take it as like 40% of them in terms of my wagon calculations.
42, I think
42.
you said.
42. Okay, so we just... Okay, cool. We'll count it as like 18. Okay, so that takes it to 69 people that we need to have food supplies for. 3 wagons.
Ben killed Andre to get to that number. That's what he did.
Bastard.
2. I reckon 2. If we're not carrying any other thing, it's only water and food supplies, and possibly medical. I think 2 would push, 3 comfortable.
I'm doing math in my head. No,
don't do myth.
Right.
Definitely not going to help the situation.
I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can get at least 3.
Yeah, put it this way. 2 will be tight and everything will be packed on. 3 will have access to a wagon which will allow us to put injured on and such.
So we need enough food to feed 70 people
Roughly.
at least a week minimum.
Yeah, that's 2. That's 2 fully laden.
We're going to need 2 weeks of food. 1 week will not be enough.
I think we'll be able to scavenge off the land and supplement things. I think 2 wagons, fully loaded, should cover us for there and back. A 3rd wagon will allow us to have additional room for if we have injured in the party to be carried.
All right.
Can we look across the
Well, you
battlefield to see if they had any wagons that they had abandoned?
They did not.
Okay.
It would have been funny. We walk over a hill. They just have like 8 wagons tied to a tree.
Yeah, it's worth a shot.
We could just take the arms, the dead, as food.
You could. I'm sure you might lose some followers by doing that, but
It's fine, we'll do this in
it's
Cascadia.
not.
We do this in Cascadia all the time.
Orcs aren't real people anyway, are they?
No,
They're
it's
just
mostly
like
dwarf.
animals.
I hear roasted dwarf is lovely with a bit of basil and thyme.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
you're making a lovely brisket out of dwarf thigh.
Right, so
You need
Steve's
to
gonna
go to the-
go to the quartermaster and see if he can get any of the stuff that we need.
Okay. What do you say to the quartermaster? What is your argument you give to him?
Please, sir.
Because the quartermaster and they are planning a battle. He's probably he is reluctant to give up anything.
Yeah.
Wanker.
I suppose he's not privy to what we told General Eobard, is he? So he wouldn't have been in the tent.
No.
No.
Yeah. Sestinus start doing things with his hands and his mouth.
Right. We need the food and equipment for, well, you'll explain how many men. I can't remember. I think it was 69 men.
Mm.
And we need 3 wagons. It is of the utmost importance. We'll take anything you can spare, but we do need that. If you can't spare all of it, we'll take what you can.
Right. Roll me a persuasion check.
He will explain that General Eobard is behind our plan.
That's what calculated the levies. If they die and we don't actually get any income from this, is taken to 17% of our budget.
Oh.
Now, do you want to pull rank?
No.
I'll just drop it.
He only just got this rank. He didn't even like pulling rank before.
Ben, passively though, he is wearing his band on his shoulder.
He is. But the question is, like, he's not pointing it out, and he's not saying, I, as knight captain, would like to requisition. He's just asked a question.
He does like standing to the right a lot. I have noticed that in his character.
No, he kind of like, can't spare you much food, but well, I can spare you a few wagons. I mean, with the dead moved, we can probably pile on the rest with what we need onto what we've got left. 3 wagons we can spare, though I can't promise they'll be in the best condition. You'd have to provide your own horses to pull them. And in terms of food, I can provide you a little bit, but how long's your journey?
I think about a week. 3 days there, probably a bit longer than. About a week should do.
I can't provide a week's worth for that many people. Can't spare that much. What I can do is I can provide enough for 4, maybe 5 days at most. You know, if you make it, spread it out a little bit, you might be able to make it last a little bit longer.
I'd be able to go on a half rations, possibly.
That's the best I can do. If we didn't have another battle planned, well, we'd be able to provide you more. Army's got to come first.
Nods. Well, thank you, Quartermaster. Think, out of interest, do you have any spare shields?
Spare shields?
Hmm.
Anything you can find on the battlefield, really, mate. If it hasn't all been looted, feel free to take it.
Right. No, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you, and could I have my squire stay here and organize the carts and everything like that to be brought over to our campsite?
Sure.
Okay. He'll get Tommy to do that.
Give him the fun job, yeah?
Yeah. He's real good at delegating. He doesn't like pulling rank, but delegating is great.
It's just pulling rank with
Extra
hidden steps.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was knew he had deceitful eyes.
And he'll try and look over the battlefield to find any shields.
Roll me a investigation check.
Oh, I should have gotten the fucking elf to do this. Yeah, that tracks.
You find a few. They're not in the best condition. They've got panels missing or chunks slashed out of them. Yeah, you don't really find any that are in great condition.
Okay. He'll still.
I'm not saying they're not usable, but they're not going to last long, and they're not going to be the most effective. So
They're better than nothing there.
that is true.
He'll take whatever ones he can find. The most broken ones he'll just leave, but he'll take any that look usable.
Okay. Yeah, there's some they're not like the perfect shape. They've got like a little bit of a chunk out of them, but they provide some measure of protection.
Okay. He's more so taking them just for the peasants, to give them some shields.
Yeah, they won't know the difference. Don't worry about it.
Hands them a shield while a hole broken out of it. Oh, I've never had a shield before.
Is it meant to have this? Yeah, it's part of the style. It's perfectly effective.
It's you see that hole? It's actually for putting up on a battlement and shooting a crossbow from.
Oh, well. Is there anything anyone else would like to do before you set off?
No, we've got to hit the road. Everyone's got their medals. We've got wagons. I'll say to Sir Steve, good job on the old wagons and food. I said, hopefully we can have a decisive victory at the cave, and we can raid the supplies the gold has brought with them for the return journey. They're nobles, they'll be eating good.
He thinks about that. He's like, do you think it will be that close? We won't get away before they get there.
Well, who knows, they might send a forward party.
How long a journey is it to Grothook from the mountain? So we're not on that map, I can't check.
Ooh, I like that idea.
About 2.5 days.
It's just quicker to get to Grothook.
Okay. And we have 4 or 5 days food.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's the best. I was just thinking, I was like, that's the best plan I have for, like, if we can't get anywhere else, we have to go to Grothook after.
And then we might have to fight in a battle starving.
Because even if we had a week's food, I thought about it, we'd only get back to this pass,
Yeah.
which doesn't seem to have a farm or any, like, markets.
No, it's a good idea. I'm with you.
Okay. That's if we survive the mountain and don't just get captured by the cold.
Oh, yeah, it might do.
I just need to do a couple of calculations myself.
Depends, like,
Okay.
how many days will they spend climbing the mountain?
Oh, we've got lots of men.
Well, no, I'm
Spread out.
thinking how many days has it taken your enemy to get there?
Oh, like,
That's what Randall's worried about.
I think they've been delayed. Storms, traffic.
Roadworks.
Yeah,
Hit by a hurricane that slammed into the coast of Green March.
they've got a bad syphilis outbreak at the moment as well in their party.
The classic West Coast road is just notorious for bad traffic.
She's a cruel mistress.
It's like the M25 of Green March, pretty much.
There's a sign up that says it's road improvements
Yeah, never working on it though.
next summer.
Reduced speed limit all the time, but for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah,
There's
Lots
just one peasant slowly working on the side of the road.
lots of guards patrolling it as well.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if any of the roads were going to be really busy, it's going to be that.
It is.
The other one goes up by a swamp. Nobody wants to go there. Okay?
Very true.
You get bit by a giant alligator that just crawls out onto the road.
Hey, it's a lovely swamp. You can go out buying a holiday home there.
Get out of my swamp.
Waldenshire is the Florida of Green March. Right?
I'm gonna retire there.
The stories of the Wolvenshire man.
Baron Trump's
Well.
very popular in Wolfenshire.
Yeah. Well, you guys begin making your way to where, obviously, you jotted down on the map, and kind of you trust Damien's eyes for what he saw on the map in the cultish ritual.
He'll be on a
So-
wagon, so he's got time to like check information and maps and stuff.
Yeah, it's slower moving than you would like. So because you've got wagons, you haven't got enough wagons for all the levies, so the levies are walking. So you are no longer moving at a riding pace. You're moving at a walking pace, and especially if you want to conserve like rations, you don't want to be moving that fast either. So it might take you like a day extra than normal, than you had maybe thought. So what was going to be a 3-day journey you're thinking at this rate it might become a 4. It's fairly simple though. There's no road here. You're kind of like just following the general direction to the mountains. There's no path. Because at this point of like northern Green March, settlements are few and far between. You'd find maybe the odd village near a river, or by the woods, but this close to the mountains, there's not really anything there that is at the moment worthy of people settling. So you're moving through mostly like rolling, like grassy hills, some rocky terrain here and there. It's fairly okay for your wagons and your horses. There's a couple of bits where you need to dismount to make sure your horse can move safely through it. And some of you take care with the wagons as well, making sure the wheels don't get caught. The first and only issue you guys come across comes about halfway through your journey. The weather's still been pretty bad. Obviously, you had the bad sleet and that during the battle, and the rain's kind of kept on. Not like necessarily as torrential. Bit of drizzle here and there. One day it might get heavier, but it's been mostly drizzle throughout the whole journey. So it's been wet, damp, horrible. However, because of that inclement weather, you come across one of the very smaller rivers that lead into the larger one that runs across Vankshire, the northern part of Green March, usually the border between that and the Wildlands. And this river, like the ford that is normally used here, is rushing water. It looks rough to cross, where normally this ford would be like some of the local guys, the levies. They've travelled this way before. There's a it's the quickest path to get to like Little Crossing and all the way over to Dirkenshire. So those who make this route, this is the way they come. And this is the ford they would normally use with their carts and their horses. But it is treacherous here. It's doable, but it's treacherous. One of the knights would speak up that has joined you, Sir Steve. He'd speak up and tell you that there's a bridge, but it's about maybe good part of a day's walk, and that's the next nearest crossing.
He'll nod. Right. Let me discuss that with my companions and we'll make a decision. We don't really have a lot of time to spare. And he'll go over and explain that to the rest of them.
Ben,
Yes.
can I use my marine engineer background to like see how we would have crossed rivers? Because I'm sure that would have came up.
Can I build a bridge, Ben?
Not necessarily
That's
building
exactly what I thought he was going to say.
No, not necessarily building a bridge, but like pioneers like in
I mean,
America.
You could dismantle all of your carts and
Well, no, they
possibly have the semblance of a bridge. Not quite a full one. Might be more of a diving board than a bridge, but
no, but I mean, like, how deep is the river? Like, there are solutions to this.
yeah. So the river at this point, so it would normally be like maybe at its deepest point, like just above knee height. But at this point, it's kind of like up by the chest.
So it would get bogged down. A wagon going through it would get bogged down.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
potentially we can unload the wagons, and the wagons will be light enough to roll over, not get bogged down, but it would be a case of reloading them on the other side, taking the supplies across on foot.
And the river, the water is moving fast as well, I will say.
So we
So that
potentially
is-
run
that
a
is also-
guideline across for anyone getting caught.
Are you intending on like altering the river? Are you going to make like a mini boulder dam to try and affect the flow of them slightly?
No, we don't have time for that.
Because we've got a lot of people.
Just chop down some trees, build a fucking dam while we're
We'll
at it.
do an open quarry over
We have a
there.
woodcutter. We have a werewolf woodcutter. Chop down a big tree, over the tree.
Mr. Beaver over here.
We'll do an open quarry. It's brilliant. We'll mine some sandstone out. We could carve that into a sphinx over there.
We'll zip line. Okay, hear me out. We'll zip line from the trees.
We're playing a cart.
Up. We can't stay.
But yeah, how wide is the river? It's like what, 30 feet?
It's probably about about 35, 40 feet.
Okay.
But would you like me to do a roll for like my background?
I mean, sure. What is your background ability? I have no idea.
Well, you said, remember when we done Grit and Glory, we had those additional rolls or whatever, and I got engineering skill advantage check to deduce the workings of something or structural integrity of a building. But I think being in the Marines, the Cascadian Marines, and being one of their pioneer engineers, this would be something they would kind of train for. 'Cause I'm sure.
Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, you reckon that like with your like you could if one of you can safely get over to the other side, you could probably set up a safety line. And you know with your skill you could probably do that pretty securely.
Yeah.
You would have probably you would know that the difficult ones are going to be the horses and the cart.
Yes.
Because obviously they can't hold on to the safety line.
So the cart, we would take the horses off of it and unladen it, because the main risks with that is it getting bogged down and then the water rolling it. Well, if it's unladen, it should just skim along the ground, almost floating somewhat, because it's wood.
Yeah.
So the danger here now is getting the horses across, really, because we can manhandle the supplies over using the guideline.
Well, you said the bridge is a day's march. What about a hard ride with the horses?
Oh, yeah.
If they were to separate, go round and meet up,
Yeah, that's a good point.
how long would it take for a hard ride to go round and meet up?
So they could probably go there and back within a day, rather than a day there, a day back.
Yeah.
So half the time.
It's probably worth not risking the horses across
Yeah.
wild water.
And to carry all this stuff across to make sure everyone gets across safely anyway. It's probably going to take us best half a day just to cross the river.
Half day,
And being on horses, they could catch us up if we do then go onwards.
Yeah, because we can pull the wagons with men
Yeah.
for a short time.
I-
You're laughing,
I-
Ben, but the pioneers in America done all this.
Did you say with men or women?
We're
We're
men.
men.
With men.
We can pull wagons.
Wagon with men.
We're men.
Rachel, do not touch that fucking wagon. Yeah.
I will. I will consult with the elven captain and see what he thinks. He has a lot more years' experience than literally any of us. Or more to see how his horses will fare crossing the river.
Okay.
I'll actually say it. Hold on. I didn't. The problem was I couldn't remember his fucking name, and I was like,
Captain Ellerin.
yeah, I'm looking now. Captain Ellerin of Whitewater. There we go. Captain Ellerin. A moment.
He looks around at everyone that has stopped. What is it you want?
How would your men fare crossing that river with your horses?
He like walks up to it and like looks. The waters are similar to those around Whitewater. We could probably do it. It would be dangerous, but our horses are more used to these sorts of waters than most. It is not our horses that you would need to worry about.
Nonsense. Right. Just thought I'd make sure with that. Well, I'll leave it up to you to decide whether to cross here or go with the rest of our men to cross at the bridge. That way.
Well, I will follow whatever yourself and Mr. Casper wants to tell. We are at your orders, so.
Captain, would you be able to ride across the river and perhaps you could scout ahead and ensure we do not get ambushed while we are crossing?
Well, where would you like us to scout?
Just the surrounding area on the other side of the river. Just set up a screen, almost a patrol route. Even forage some food, any outlying towns.
Yeah, you know, we can scout pretty easily. This is a fast, and we won't get caught. How far out would you like us to go?
What? 2 hours ride ahead?
Okay, we'll do it. You want us to cross now, and while you sort out the rest?
Yes, and anytime you have free, just find any food you can in the area and bring it back.
All right. And he turns around and shouts back to his men in Elvish. Mount
Hop
up. We cross.
Hop dubba, dubba hoppa.
So the elves mount up, and they lead their horses into the waters, and they take it slowly, but their horses are probably like he said, they are more used to these sorts of waters. They've been essentially born and bred in those sorts of lands. So they cross not with ease by any means, but they manage it, and the elves ride off out of sight.
Before they do ride off, sorry. I would like to suggest that one of us goes with them, but only to the other side with the rope, which will be the assisted rope aid.
Or their last one can just run the rope.
Run the rope.
Yeah.
Or someone could be there in case the rope was to go, so they can attend to the rope breakage.
Yeah, cool.
So I don't mind volunteering for
one of
that.
them can easily. One of them can take a rope.
Yeah.
They wouldn't necessarily want. Probably wouldn't want two people mounted up on a horse.
Yeah.
It's already precarious as it is.
That's fine. But you can always cross with the rope
Yes.
once they've tied it off, yeah.
Damien, why don't you take Grand and you can ride with Sir Stephen and the knights?
I've got my horse.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll put someone I trust on Grand then.
Who do you trust on Grand?
Yeah,
will take
who
it.
do you trust?
I'll trust Rachel, but Grand is huge and needs someone who can.
She's good with animals.
She's good with animals. Yeah, maybe. Like Grand's like a 18-hand horse. He's a fuck off thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Rachel's happy to do that, she can take
It's
it.
up to you. It's your horse, Casper. It's your horse.
If Rachel's confident, she can take Grand.
She would trust Gron to keep her safe. It's not necessarily her riding Grond. Grond is carrying her.
Yes. But yeah, so Steve, you take your men to the bridge. Damien's with you. Randall, you can help me. And the rest of the footmen.
Yep.
Should we do a little team break?
Right.
Come on, Sir Steve. Oh.
He's just gonna mount up.
Oh. Wait, go team!
Go team.
Oh.
As much as I like to partake in your silly games, Casper, I believe haste is of the utmost importance here. So,
Sorry, Sir Steve, I'm working just too hard to be hearing you at the moment. As I'm unloading the wagons.
it seemed like you were doing some type of hand gesture.
Yes, he was boosting morale. You're wasting time by talking. Let's ride.
I love Damien. I'm going to give him a second medal.
Gonna go off with the rest of the people with horses and, enjoy his time with people that don't belittle him every 5 minutes.
I'm coming too, so I'm there to help a
Oh
little.
my god, you're going.
So Casper gave me some notes.
J-Ron will be there as well. Don't worry.
Yeah, he's always on your other side, just there ready to dig
Yeah,
you.
so it's Sir Steve, and then on either side, just flanking, is just me and Jaron.
Yeah.
Although J-Ron is in somewhat more of a somber mood of late,
That's true.
due to losing his brother.
Yes.
Oh, sure, it was his brother, not just his cousin, right?
Yeah, Priest Andre.
Randall, we've got some hard work to do, my friend. We have to unload all these wagons and carry it across the river.
We get the men to work without haste. We're gonna go full mode. We're gonna get a nice system going.
Well,
we're
I mean-
gonna get certain men.
Question:
Go.
what are you doing with your dwarf?
We're throwing him. How far is it? How far is it, honestly? How far?
What are you doing with boars?
We're throwing him.
Someone has to be on the cart at least to get it pulled across,
Well,
right?
no, we've got the spare horses from the wagons. He can ride round with the others.
Yeah, I think. Well, that's something you might want to do. Is assess who because we have spare horses. Maybe the weakest people
Yeah, they
should
can
be on a
ride.
horse.
And
Yeah.
Casper, being top engineer, has just realised what we'll do: unload a wagon, get that wagon to the other side of the river, turn wagon on side, turn other wagon on this side of the river over, and then we can have ropes going between it, and use it as a zip line-esque shuttle for the supplies.
Yep. I think the zip line, but you could do the same effect with trees as well. So
Well,
tie
we don't
off
have there's trees nearby.
through. But yeah, definitely use a zip line method.
We can even have a wagon wheel as a pulley
Yeah.
across the
You
river.
just tie the
Yeah.
rope around it and then, yeah.
You know, Casper is kind of a little bit of an engineer.
I'm glad I'm gone and I'm not listening to his ego boost.
But I think we were right in saying anyone who did look weak or
Yeah.
not fully capable, we are sending them off on the spare horses. We're only
Ye-
going to let the fit and able do this.
Yes. But yeah, we should get them supplies over relatively dry, relatively safe, and relatively
So once
fast.
we're all unloaded and ready to go, is Brother Sven with us? Yes.
Oh yeah, he can be blessing.
Yes, I would like.
And
I would like to pray with Brother Sven for everything to go well. So we should have a quick pray.
You can bless this pulley system. Bless this pulley system and all who ride on her.
You
Yeah.
you can pray.
We're just going to pray.
And Casper,
What-
you can roll your engineering check.
I haven't got this set up, so I'm proficient in nature, and that's an intelligence check, so I'll just roll that.
I think you'll get like a +1 or something too if it's upskill, isn't it?
Yeah.
14.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
14. But
You so I mean this is to make sure, like, obviously your initial safety ropes secure. So, like, you know, securing a rope, getting the rope over there, making sure it's secure both ends. That's kind of part and parcel for you.
Yeah.
Setting up the pulley system. Another roll for that, please, to see whether that. Because obviously, first off, you need to obviously get the first cart over there. Who do you trust to get the first cart over there?
I will go with that cart, and I will take who's some big boys? Big boys. We don't. Jimmy Werewolf. He's coming.
I think it would be wise.
Keith are your biggest boys.
Yeah, Jimmy.
I would say also, Casper, make sure you've got someone on standby for any rope breakages. So almost someone who's always going to be the standby watcher.
I
So
mean,
if
you're
anything's about to
agile.
go awry. Yeah.
We'll put you on that. You're agile enough to get across that river quick. Yes, so it'll be myself, Jimmy, and Keith.
Keith.
Big boy Keith.
All right. In which case, you roll me an athletics check at advantage.
Oh, athletics. Yes, cool. Oh, might have to rage if it goes poorly.
Recklessly.
I'd rather break this wagon than let it go.
Easy.
Yeah. You, Jimmy, and Keith get over there safe and secure. And yeah, without too much of a worry. So, now time to set up your pulley system, Casper. Another engineering check, please, or nature check, apparently.
That's my stand-in, sorry.
I didn't know you were proficient in nature.
Yeah. I've never actually used it.
You'd never have guessed.
I've got that in the notes that we're at advantage when we roll those, I think. That's what I got here, engineer skill advantage on check.
Yeah.
So 16, my matey.
+1.
Cool.
Got a subskill.
Your system to get the supplies over usually goes off fairly without a hitch. You don't lose any of the supplies. You get them safely over. You directed Randall how to get the other cart set up and to get the rope wrapped around the wheel. So it goes off fairly well. Now comes the kind of more precarious part, which is getting the second cart over and getting everyone else over.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got 26 people plus Randall to get over.
Well, how can we not transport people like supplies? Like use the pulley system. We're not
The-
like
the way
carrying
that-
them, but at least
The way,
a.
I'd say the way the pulley system's set up,
Yeah.
it's
We can't
made to
tie
deal
them.
with small sacks and that sort of thing, not the weight of a fully grown farmhand.
Yeah.
But at least it's a guideline for.
Yeah, we'll use that as a guideline, and we'll have them.
You've got a guideline in, and
Yeah.
then you had the pulley system. So you have got the guideline,
Yeah.
which is
And
gonna help.
we'll get them to.
Or are they
interlink
not then between two? So they've got a pulley and a guideline. They're almost going to
No.
be between.
Well, because the problem is we've got to have people hanging on the carts to counterweight the stuff in the middle. So as the people go over, we don't have anyone hanging on the carts. They could pull the carts over, hanging on the pulley.
Mm.
So what we'll do is have them on the guideline and have them linked arms and just go over in a single chain. So they're holding each other as they go.
Are we going to rope them together as well?
No, they've got the guidelines. So they're linked arms, so if one of them goes, they're linked to two other people.
Yep. We send them over once we feel comfortable.
Or do you feel comfortable?
If they're linked arms, they've got their guideline. It shouldn't go too wrong.
Okay.
And we'll put someone big at the front.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, a lot of the levies are either, you know, farmers and fishers. They're guys that aren't exactly, like, skinny. And most of them have, you know, farmers and they've got farm strength. Like, these guys are strong. But obviously, they're not used to doing this sort of stuff. So, though it goes off mostly without a hitch, you do note that a handful of the levies on the crossing do lose their grip,
I
which
would
means
like
the
to
chain breaks as they're crossing. Like one slips, which obviously like breaks the front of the chain off. Then you got the middle chain, which then gets like broken, and another guy slips and gets taken. So like there's two guys washing down, and then near the back there's another two guys that slip. Obviously the rocks, obviously in the Casper, you noticed as you were crossing that the rocks underneath are slippy at this point. And so there are 5 guys that are now being dragged down the river.
Can I have a
See
lasso
that.
ready?
Whoa.
How? What? Since when do you use a lasso?
It's basically a rope with a knot, is it not?
Just shoot them. Put them out of their misery.
Oh, hold on to this arrow.
Harpoon. Yeah. Are you? Do you have any skill with a lasso?
No, not at all. Not going to pretend like I'm not even going to fake that I do. Never used one before in my life, mate. Maybe a snare trap. It's probably the closest thing I could pretend.
Okay, so you can possibly save one of the ones that are near the back that slipped. Roll me a dexterity check at disadvantage because you've never used the lasso.
Just toss the
That's
lasso
fine.
near them. You don't have to lasso them. They can grab onto it.
Or even just throw in a lasso.
Yeah,
is
just
still
throw a
gonna be hard
rope
do.
to them.
Just throwing a rope.
Bye.
Yeah. You throw the rope, but it's even with your kind of natural dexterity, it's hard to get the judgment of how fast they're moving and which direction they're going to go. So like some of the current then sweeps them nearer to the center of the river, and it's just it happens so quickly that you throw the rope and they just can't grab on. So you've lost 5 guys. But
Is it so fast that we've lost sight of them, or can we try to keep up with them and try to see if they get close to a shore?
I mean, it's up to you. You've currently still got 21 guys in the river.
Yeah, we can't.
Do you want to
So you
sidebar
could-
quickly?
We can't risk it.
You can't sidebar. You're on opposite sides of the river.
Hey, Casper, sidebar.
I'll wade into the guys in the river and start trying to be an anchor point for the guys to grab onto.
Yeah. So that you've kind of got like 3 separate chains at this point from where the breakage is. And,
being confident on my feet, I'll just kind of get one group across and then wade to the other one and try and help them across.
Yeah. Roll me another athletics check at advantage.
Yeah.
If it's all good, then you get everyone else across.
And I'll be yelling at Randall, run down the river and see where those others ended up.
Yeah.
They might get caught on a rock and he can throw a rope to them, or...
Yep. I'm going to take here, scene and shoot off.
Okay. As... not the best athletics roll there from you, Casper.
It's very slippery and fast flowing.
Yeah. I would say you managed to get pretty much all of them across, and then just as Randall's turning to run, another guy just at the back, just as the guy in front, the final guy basically, the guy in front of him slips and just lets go of the guy behind him to reach for you, Casper, and he just lets the other guy behind him go, and the guy kind of starts slipping. So Randall, you've got a choice, I suppose. You can follow this guy. You can try and catch up to the ones that have already gone.
So has someone just else gone in, have they?
Yes.
I'm going to try and throw over a rope.
Okay.
Is he on my side?
No, he's nearer the other side.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. Still going to try and throw a rope at them.
The current takes them weaving in and out. So you can maybe run or try and, run down the side and get them when they come a little bit closer.
So I'm initially going to try and throw a rope. If not, then yes, I'm going to try to get close to the banks to get them for when they swoop in. So the first port of call is throw the rope back.
Okay. Roll me a dexterity check.
Ooh.
Not used to wild water.
It's a hard throw.
I'm used to meadows.
Water is not your favourite terrain.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's it just happens again. It just happens so quickly that even with your great reaction times, there's just nothing you can do to stop him going further down the river.
I'm going to chase after him.
Roll me an athletics check to try and sprint.
I've got Hircine with me, so if I'm not going to get there, she's get there. She's on the same mission.
Okay. I would say that the first 5 are probably too far gone at this point. That if you were chasing after them, you might be chasing after them for a while. Whereas this one guy, I'd say you managed to sprint up and you get close enough to try and throw the rope again, if you want to.
Am I able to reach for him? Or get something to him like a long stick or my spear?
I'd say you'd maybe be able to get close enough where you're not having to be as delicate with the rope. At least you could get the rope a little bit closer.
I'll have Pierce almost hugging me and anchoring me in. So if I do get too far in, she can just pull me back.
Yeah, piercing, with her opposable thumbs.
She has tentacles.
Fair point. You should be able to wrap her tentacle around your waist and
like a harness, yeah.
For you. Advantage athletics roll then.
Athletics, yeah.
Or dexterity.
Definitely dexterity, yeah.
Okay. I'll say with that, you do manage to save this one guy.
Yay.
However, you are still on the wrong side of the river, so you still need to cross.
That's fine. We'll come back to that.
I can't wait to see the cavalry guys come up saying we found 4 bodies down the river. What the hell's going on up here?
And
I'm going to make sure he's okay.
yeah, I mean, he's shaken up. He's swallowed a lot of water, but he's alive.
I give him a strong pat on the back and see how much he coughs up.
A fair bit.
He'll be alright.
Come on, you got to try again now, mate.
Oh, third time lucky.
Blame it when you make the let go, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Casper's probably berating the guy that let go.
Threatening to throw him in the river.
All right, Randall, with you and the guy you saved, you now have to make your way across the river. The question is, are you going to leave the safety line in the river?
What, the one that goes from either side?
Yeah. Or
Well,
are
we're not
you
getting-
now taking it with you?
Well, we've got to get the cart across, haven't we?
Yeah.
How are we getting the last cart across? Just pulling it?
Oh yeah, there should have been enough guys to roll that across.
Okay, well, I'll go for my own method of getting across then. So once everyone else is across, I'll have to do my own thing. Which is probably more of like, again, like a
Yeah.
zip line of my own accord or a grappling.
You and the guy you saved and Hircine are the people left on the other side.
I'm not trusting this guideline. It didn't work out so well for that guy. So
Because they let go.
Most of the guys.
anyway, we are going to give it one last go. And obviously Hircine as well. I'm going to ask a guy to pray with me.
He's a little bit flustered at the moment, mate, but for sure, you saved his life.
I'm going to ask Lazarium to give us safe passage, us three across this.
Roll me a religion check.
Casper's just yelling, "Hurry the fuck up!"
You just see them on their knees on the other side.
At this rate, Sir Steve and his cohort are going to catch up to you before you've even all crossed the river.
Yeah, we've got to reload the wagons.
Okay. I will need a athletics check at advantage with the rope.
Come on, Randall.
Hey. Though you slip, and like Casper, you like see him like go under. About halfway through. But then you realise his hand is still holding onto the rope. As you see, he just pulls his face back up and manages to stand himself back up, looking like a drowned rat in his now not so pristine white robes. The guy behind him's like still also like grabbing onto him. It was touch and go there for Randall, but he manages, with the help of the guy he saved, who, looking bolstered by the prayer beforehand, helps out, and they finally make it across after, more delay than you would have hoped, Casper.
Right, do I need to get this wagon reloaded?
I'm gonna thank the man who helped me. What was his name?
That was actually Trevor, the guy that lost his brother.
Oh,
He could have just let go and drowned himself.
He just nods. There's no like comradeship or anything like. It's just, yeah, you're right.
Nice one.
we just acknowledge it and then we move on.
Slight question.
Yes.
As I had thought Hircine was with us going around, but if she's with them, how does she get across? Because the water would be up to her head, right?
Oh, He hates Hirocene. He wants a dead.
Yeah, well, cheers for that. Do you want me to
No,
roll
I
for
was-
here scene?
I
I
was-
happily will.
No, I thought she was with us. I just assumed she
I feel
wasn't.
like she could run across the rope.
Can't she
Yeah.
teleport?
She shimmers.
Yeah. It's like an illusory.
Okay.
Uh,
But she has multiple tentacles to hold onto the rope.
should have got a
anyway.
better pet,
Yeah.
really.
I'll happily
She will
roll
have-
for her.
She will need a roll.
Yeah,
Jo-
of course, yeah.
Do you want me to go carry it?
But I feel like she has a much better scenario. She has acrobatic. If you want me to roll that.
It wouldn't need to be athletics or strength.
Strength, I'll roll just base strength.
Okay, solid 18. Strength, holding on with the tentacles to the rope. Hirocene actually makes a better job of it than Randall.
Good girl.
So,
I
all
like-
well, I was about to say all safe and sound. 21 of the group that you led is over safe and sound.
Well, did they sign the contract saying we had to pay your money?
I think so. What's that? 4
They all
went
signed
Did 4 go down the river? Or was it 5?
Five.
Five.
Thought we
It's
recovered
5.
one.
5 went, and then another one went.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
we saved the one who went the second time.
fuck's sake.
But we saved Trevor, and
I'm gonna blame you for that.
What, saving? Or...
No.
I. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, could have done a better job there.
That's 15 silver that I'm gonna have to pay.
Oh, I blame
It might get
engineering
more
personally.
expensive as time goes on.
Yeah. I've got to make note. 15 silver already in losses.
And with you guys plodding onwards now without horses, dragging the carts behind you, Sir Steve and Damien Krieger riding to try and catch up. That is where we'll end tonight's session. And we will have next session with you hopefully arriving at the mountain.
And killing everyone.
Everyone?
Everyone.
Everyone that's there.
No.
This sounds more like a ritual.
I was with the cultists the whole time.
Why are we not killing everyone there?
Guys.
I should have figured it out. They had the dark book as well.
We've secretly been corrupted this whole time.
I mean, Casper has been reading the book, apparently.
I have been reading the
I'm gonna
book.
need-
And also,
I'm going to need wisdom saves soon.
well, I was hoping to get some just tips of not to be corrupted for my pen pals over in the monastery. And also, we have brought a virgin with us in Sir Steve.
Yeah.
And before you can respond, goodbye everyone.